Evening. Hello. Welcome, everyone, to the Living, Breathing Shakti Masterclass. Can everyone hear me okay? If you want to turn your camera on, would love, love, love to feel your energy and your presence in this space. Salut, Martin. Hello. Hi, Pascal. We have some French Canadians in the room. Hello. Elizabeth, long time no see. Hello. Stephanie, welcome. Natalie, hi. Beautiful, my dear. So you are here for the Living, Breathing Shakti Masterclass. Salut, Natalie. And today I'm here with Chloe Blur, and we are so happy to be sharing the essence of Shakti with you today. And before we talk about Shakti or anything, I would love to invite Chloe to maybe lower the volume a little bit, please. And to just close our eyes and let us drop into this space of presence and our breath. Can we feel this breath of life, this Shakti through our breath? This primordial life force energy that is flowing through us. Can we feel her awaken? And before we activate her with breath to begin, I would love to invite you to bring your arms up as you inhale. Rise your arms up, trace this circle around you, and exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment to commune with this divine energy, this connection, this verticality with the divine. So as we expand our hearts with gratitude of being here together right now, we get to connect around this Shakti energy here as a community. I'd love to offer a prayer to open this beautiful sacred container. Dear God, dear Goddess, Heavenly Source, Holy Spirit, thank you so much for filling the room in the way that you know how. Thank you for using Chloe and I as a vessel for expressing your essence and your pure energy. And thank you for coming to meet the energy in the hearts of everyone in this room and watching the replay. Thank you for showing us the way. And thank you for helping us come here with an open mind and an open heart to just try on a different perspective, perhaps, that we have had before on what Shakti Kundalini is. Thank you for your protection, for your guidance, and for filling up our life with so much joy and so much aliveness. May we feel your courage through this masterclass. I love you, I love you, I love you, and so it is. Amen. Welcome to the room, Emily. Beautiful. So, just to open our hearts and open our minds to receive this transmission about Shakti, today I would love to invite you to bring your index to your thumbs in Gyan Mudra, 3 fingers together, palms facing up, resting on the thighs. And we'll be breathing in through the mouth as we sip up air. And exhale passively through the mouth, simply letting the air go out through the mouth rather than pushing it out. So this is the rebirth breath. We're enlivening Shakti within us through this. And so with every inhale that we'll be taking here, the inhale will be equal to the exhale. And we'll be inviting in the energy of Mother Earth. So as we inhale, we'll bring this energy up from the roots, from the core of the earth, all the way up our spine, behind our back to the crown. And as we exhale, sending it back down to her, creating this communion with her. Okay? So let us do this together. Gyan Mudra. Puckered lips and inhale. Exhale. Let your spine move as it feels natural. Beautiful. Keep breathing and creating this relationship with her. A few more seconds here, breathing her all the way in and all the way out. And with your next breath, inhale and hold at the top, pulling the low belly navel in and up, gazing at the third eye. Suspend the breath. Tongue at the roof of the mouth. Hold. Keep holding as you squeeze the spine. And in 3, 2, 1, through the nose, slowly exhale. And just feel. Through the nose, inhale. And slowly exhale. Then with your next breath, bring your arms up into the air, and you can even stand up for this one. And this is called the Shakti shake. So we're gonna shake to invite Shakti into the body. So you can shake the arms, shake the hands, shake the shoulders, shake the hips, shake it out. So that's a beautiful way to invite Shakti into the body, into every single cell. Shakti is wild. She is chaos. She is the pulse of creation. And when we shake like this, we invite her everywhere into our physical body, our temple body. Let her animate the life within us. Keep shaking a little bit more. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Take this moment, this opportunity to notice the sensations, the breath, and the heartbeat. This aliveness within you. Through the nose, inhale. And as you exhale, grow your roots down into the earth to ground back down. Beautiful. So welcome, beauties. Welcome, Shaktis. Welcome, everybody. So before we dive deeper into this golden nectar of Shakti that we can see on this image here, let us root into the essence of why we are here. I would love to hear in the chat, actually, what brought you here today? What is the thing that attracts you to Shakti? What is your relationship with Shakti like? So inviting your presence and your participation here today in this masterclass. We love to take the pulse on you, take the pulse of the room, and hear from you. Why are you here today? And to embrace my inner sensuality for myself. Yes. Sent through the senses, hey. And then harmonizing with divine essence for Stephanie. Yes. To connect to your vitality, to pleasure, into creativity. J'adore Pascal. To relieve stress and become more centered. Yes. Amazing. Shakti can absolutely help us do all of that. Um, so before I introduce Chloe, there's so much to say about my dear sister Chloe. I want to speak to Shakti and Kundalini and just kind of take a moment to really differentiate them. So I would love to hear from you actually. What is Shakti to you? What is the definition of Shakti? Put it in the chat. I would love to hear from everyone here. No idea. Perfect. We're going to talk about it. We're going to feel it too. So, goddess energy. Yes, we're going to definitely dive into some goddess energy today and all of the goddesses as well. So, in the yogic and tantric lineage, Shakti is the primordial feminine life force. She is the creative pulse of the universe. She is the wild current of source that births, destroys, and awakens anything that is in life. She also maintains life. And she gets to animate everything that lives, right? So everything that grows on the trees, like the fruits, it's a sacrifice from her. It's an offering from her, right? She is in everything that ever came into creation, ultimately. And Kundalini, what is Kundalini? Yes, she is feminine divine energy. For Shakti that you were responding, I think. But I would love to hear from you. What is Kundalini? And what's the difference between Shakti and Kundalini? Any idea in the chat? What is Kundalini? What is this creature called Kundalini? What's this word even? So Kunda means coiled, and it means coiled serpent. So it is said to be an energy that is coiled at the base of the spine, 3.5 times, waiting to be awakened. So ultimately, just to summarize, Kundalini, it's this same Shakti, but it's in her sleeping or resting form. I don't like to say she's sleeping because really she's just resting, like a pretty puppy with their eyes closed, but they're not sleeping, they're just resting. So she's like this sleeping dragon coiled at the base of the spine. And when Kundalini, she decides to rise, she becomes an active, ascended Shakti, right? Awakening consciousness, dissolving any illusions, lifting the veil on what is not true, and bringing the soul back into remembrance of its divine alignment. That is what Kundalini does. I say she is truth. So when we title this masterclass, Living, Breathing Shakti, that means that when we live, breathe, and embody Shakti, we are not speaking of an idea, a concept, or even an identity. We are speaking of a relationship. And a relationship has to go both ways, right? Giving and receiving and cultivating that communication. So it's a living presence, it's a frequency that wants to move through your body, through your voice, through your breath, through your life. Okay, so in essence, Shakti is the mother of all creation. And it's hard to talk about Shakti without talking about Shiva, her counterpart, the father of all creation, if you will. And we'll get deeper into this in a moment. But they are both aspects of creation. But now we're talking about the mother of all creation, Shakti. And Kundalini is the same mother, but it's the one that's resting or asleep within you, waiting to rise. So Kundalini is Shakti, but Shakti is more than Kundalini. Yeah? Shakti is universal, and Kundalini is more intimate to us. So I hope that demystifies a little bit about Shakti and Kundalini and how we can relate and differentiate them to start. Also, there's this amazing metaphor that I love to share. It's like Shakti is the ocean And Kundalini is a wave of that same ocean, but inside you. Think about this. If Shiva is like the tapestry of this universe, this stillness holding the background of consciousness together, Shakti is the ocean of all creation, and Kundalini is a wave of that ocean within you in your temple body. It's a pretty cool image. And when Kundalini awakens, the wave remembers that it's not separate from the ocean and that it's all one in the end. So, when Kundalini awakens, there's so much to say about Kundalini. It's one of my favorite subjects as a Kundalini priestess. Kundalini, according to the yogic philosophy, rises through the Sushumna Nadi, the central channel. Right? I call this the highway of Kundalini. Is a Sushumna Nadi. And when she rises, she gets to purify our energy centers, our chakras. I say the serpent gets to eat away at every little debris that is not in alignment with our truth, so that Kundalini Shakti can make her way up to meet Shiva at the crown where, awakening happens. Well, or should I say a permanent awakening happens if she makes it all the way there. So sometimes it's possible for Kundalini to rise just a little bit, tickle, tickle, and then to come back down to sleep. And then once she reaches all the way up to Shiva, then there's divine union, self-realization, and it's called more of a permanent awakening. And through that, she also purifies the nervous system, the karmic imprints, all the psychic knots that are in the way of us realizing ourselves fully. So their union is called samadhi, if you will. It's like the remembrance of the self, the real self as the absolute self. Okay? So this is why Kundalini is considered the path of embodied enlightenment. And that is also why we're bringing this to you today. Okay, so I am really excited to introduce you to Chloe, one of my favorite sisters. And we will be opening this portal together today. And so Chloe loves astrology. And so I would call her an astral adventurer. She loves to adventure into the astral, and she once spent a whole year crossing the Sahara Desert of West Africa by herself alone, just following waves and freedom, before spending 5 years immersed in the jungle of Central America. And so, very special soul Chloe is, like such a free spirit, and I call her a true daughter of the ocean as well. It's as if she is a daughter of the ocean of Shakti, and then that Kundalini Shakti is dancing within her, and she's very aware of that. And it was in Mexico that Chloe was initiated as a Daikini and first met Kundalini Shakti. So she also spent time in the Himalayas to deepen her relationship with Shakti further and spent 10 years studying tantric and yogic philosophy, which really helped her dissolve all of the physical and psychological blocks that kept her from uniting with Shakti. So today, Chloe walks with Shakti in every step, in every breath. She embodies Shakti in her way of living, in her way of being. And so I'm so happy to introduce you to beautiful Chloe. Welcome, Chloe.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. French
Evening.
Canadian we are, but we're gonna do this masterclass in English today,
Thank
as
you
we
so much
already
for
did it
having
in
me.
French. Bonsoir.
Thank you so much for having me, Jasmine. Such a beautiful introduction to Shakti. I love your definition and your discernment also towards Shakti and Kundalini. So beautifully explained. Thank you so very much. We will go over some of these subjects again in a different taste today.
Yes, thank you. So, what we will explore together today, and this is just me being the Shiva of this container, and Chloe gets to be the Shakti. So, do you know what I'm saying when I mean that? Do you know what I mean when I'm saying that? I mean that I will keep this structure, I will keep us in alignment, and I will contain the consciousness background of this while Chloe dances with her energy and shares her wisdom with us today. So we will talk about what Shakti is truly. We will talk about um, how meeting Kundalini Shakti changed Chloe's life and how it also can change your life. We'll hear about Chloe's story of awakening, of remembering Shakti, and why embodiment matters more than any knowledge of Shakti. Also, we will touch on the cut point as a bonus at the end, which is the threshold where Kundalini begins inside the body and the earth. So, Chloe, please take it away, darling.
Thank you, Jasmine. Such a joy to be working with you. Hi, everyone. So happy to be here with you all and to see beautiful, familiar faces and new faces. My name is Chloe. Jasmine already introduced me. I am from Montreal, but like to say that I'm from the world because I've spent a lot of time everywhere and got the blessing to learn from many great teachers that have casted many blessings in forms of teachings that I get to carry and share with you today. And so thank you very much for being willing and curious to know more about Shakti Kundalini today. First of all, oh, okay. Shakti. What is Shakti? In my definition, I would call her and define her as creative energy. If Shiva is consciousness, if Shiva is the idea giving life to everything, Shakti is the form, it's the flesh, it's the beauty that we get to see, it's the embodiment. She is the mother of all, she is the mother of creation. She lives within us and made us and lives through us. She is us. She is beyond words as well. So it can be tricky to define her, although you can see her and feel her mostly in everything once you get to know her. She is this feminine force that brings us these waves again of creation, this urge to create, this urge to express beauty, to bask into the beauty of life on earth. And she is also this inherent fluidity as Shakti. She embraces everything like a river, how she goes and kisses every rock along his way, naturally, gently, lovingly, nurturingly embracing with ease and going around things, forging her way so softly yet so strongly, unstoppable. She lives within everything. Shakti Kundalini. She is the coiled serpent, 3.5 at the base of the spine. When she is dormant, she can look like, following the schedule and being very timely and very, up to the point. When she is not again asleep and when she is not in her raging, furious, life form in us, she helps us stay calm, and then when she awakens, she can be quite overpowering at first. So this is why, we are also doing this work of sharing those teachings and those practices that help us um, channel her in a more centered way. Otherwise, she can be quite furious and raging. So asleep or awake, conscious or enraged, Shakti lives within. We can either let her lay dormant, it's also a path. She will live within us, just dormant, sleeping, resting. Or we can let her awaken and then she can dominate us and she can simply guide our way without us being in control ever. Or with these teachings that Jasmine, as a Kundalini priestess, helps us embody and walk this path, we can learn to tame her and to work with her instead of, I mean, we all work for her, but to work, to learn to not control, but to um, embody her power, I think would be the most appropriate word in this case. And one of the practices that is used to live in a more harmonious way with Shakti comes from Vajrayana Tantra, the Kundalini yoga that we use to purify our channel and to clear any blockages that hinder Kundalini Shakti from rising. Although these teachings, they used to be very well kept from the world. They were only reserved for high priestesses or for sages because they are very, very powerful. And so here we have a deeper definition of Vajrayana Tantra. Vajrayana, or the diamond vehicle, also known, is a Mahayana Buddhist tradition rooted in esoteric practices and rituals that accelerate the path to illumination. And so every Vajrayana practice is aimed to bring us closer to enlightenment and to illumination, in which Kundalini Yoga is rooted. This is also known as Buddhist Tantra or the secret mantra, which emphasizes tools such as mantras, mandalas, mudras, and visualizations of divinities, which we'll get deeper into today, to quickly transform ordinary experiences in spiritual paths. Anchored in the belief of the indestructible nature of the soul, Vajrayana Tantra believes in enlightenment in a single lifetime by cultivating compassion and transforming perception in sacred vision. So turning the mundane into sacred is the path of Shakti, of bringing every experience as the embodiment and the birth of pure creation within us at every moment, which is attainable in every breath through Shakti. And to work with Shakti, we must first understand the principles of polarity, as Jasmine already brought Shiva and Shakti. They work together. When we mention Shakti, it's hard not to mention Shiva, as Shiva is the conducive thread for Shakti to swirl around and to really be in her full flow and her full back and forth, just like the waves of the ocean coming and going never endlessly. Shiva allows the structure for Shakti to be in her full power. And so they're not contradictory. Sometimes we see structure as the opposite of flow. No, not necessarily, especially with Shakti. We need this structure and we need this groundation, this grounding, this base for Shakti to flow. And as we can see in the diagrams here, these polarities live within us in every single human portal that we have. Our hands are big ones, giving and receiving, the right and the left, the masculine, the feminine. Also, as the masculine and the feminine, whether it is in a couple, in a relationship of a man and a woman, or two beings embodying this polarity, we also hold these polarities within. And and it's so beautiful to start studying this as in the feminine embodiment, it flows in a different pattern than in the masculine embodiment. So, as the feminine, we get to experience Shakti in a different way, as Shakti flows along with our natural polarities. As women, we get to receive life from our base, our yoni, our sacral centers, and this energy rises along with the spine to for us to pour life. Of course, women give life from every end and portals of their bodies, although the positive pole of the woman from which we give life from is through our breasts, with our milk, this life-giving liquid fluid that nurtures and sustains our babies, our creation, through our love as well, through the love that we pour into this world. And in men, it flows in the opposite direction, hence why this union brings a complete harmony and complete divinity in this way. In men receive life from their heart and give life through their lingam, hence the Shiva lingam portal that is very well seen in India and in the tantric and yogic cultures of this lingam, this Shiva consciousness with Shakti swirling 3.5 times around it. It's again this principle of polarity, of balance, of harmonizing the masculine and the feminine within and without, inside of us and outside of us, for harmony to rise from within throughout our lives. And as I go through these slides a little bit fast, please stop me in the chat if you have any questions, if you want to speak about a diagram in particular. As we can see here, also each of our centers or chakras also has this polarity of yang and yin, and they shift. And this is what also creates this magnetism that invites Shakti to rise within us with these practices. Questions? Commentaires? Anything? Let's go. Oop. And as we have just mentioned, some of the practices of Vajrayana Tantra is through the visualization of certain divinities. And it is fascinating to notice that throughout the world, these feminine archetypes are alive and live through different divinities, yet still embody these same energies, whether we are talking or looking through the yogic lens, through Lakshmi and Durga and Saraswati, the essences. Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance, of beauty, of love, of joy, of freedom. Durga is the furious mother that would do anything to protect her children. It's this life force that moves mountains through all of the faces of femininity, basically. Saraswati, the essence of flow, the nature of water that invites creativity within us, our creative nature in the expression of arts, of beauty, of dancing, of singing. And all of these visualizations, we will see the images in just a second. All of these visualizations, they are not pointing at anything outside of ourselves, we must understand. They are representations of the divine, but they are simply pointing it back towards ourselves. This is why we are speaking of Shakti as Kundalini, because she lives within, and she is this force that that breathes and lives through us, that moves us, and that invites us to rise with her as she awakens and as we remember our own inner divinity through these visualizations of these deities. This is the invitation. It is to return to this state of pure creation, of pure awe, of pure potential. Shakti is pure potentiality. She is the ocean of possibilities. With this force, you can create literally anything that you wish to see happen on earth. This is our gift in this lifetime. And this is what the Buddhist practices are trying to help us remember. It is our pure potential that is our birthright that was given to us upon our birth, and that is not reserved to any sages or anything. Everybody can attain this in this lifetime. This is the invitation. And yogic practices, the Indians, the Aryans had this remembered and embodied and put into books through these beautiful realizations of the divinities, of the deities. But so did the Egyptians through the archetypes of Isis, of Sekhmet, of Athor, the goddess of love, the goddess of war, the goddess of art. And these archetypes keep coming back throughout cultures. And so they live all within us. Although some of these archetypes might, again, just like Kundalini, be dormant, be resting, not be necessarily fully awakened. Although when we tap into this ocean and into this pure potentiality, this is when we can direct this energy with Shiva, with consciousness, with this structure, and with the power of concentrating our energy towards a goal in service to Shakti, in service to awakening of humanity. And I also made another parallel with another beautiful path that remembers the divinity of the feminine, because we are also speaking of Shakti as this feminine force, this innate force of femininity, which is pure flow, which is pure force in a different way than the masculine. Both are so beautiful, and it's not to dismiss one another. They need each other, as we said. But in this, with working with Shakti, it is this embodiment of pure loving awareness and pure potentiality through energy. And so this other parallel brings us to the world of South America, through the world of Umbanda, with the goddesses and the orishas of Yemanja, Yansa, and Oshun. Yemanja, the spirit of the ocean, nurturing and cleansing everything with her healing waters. Yansa, the spirit of the wind, with the lightning bolt. And Oshun, the goddess of the earth. She is like a soft river, gently cleansing our worries and our sorrows. And so let's I invite you now, we're going to jump into some slides with some visual representations of the goddesses. And so I invite you to pay close attention and to connect to your sense of vision and of sight and of receiving this diksha, this gift that is the embodiment and the channeling, the sages and these images of the goddess, they were channeled by the saints, as living memories of these energies embodied in one being that lives within us, that lives within each of us. And so I invite you to take a few breaths before we enter into these visual yantras and mantras of the divinities of Shakti and of the faces of Shakti. There are thousands of faces, but we only chose 9. So I invite you to look at which one perhaps calls your eye more, and really which one do you feel most attracted to, and which one captures your attention most. Perhaps she is very alive in you, or perhaps she needs more of your attention and she is trying to tell you something. And so, without waiting anymore, let's on her left. The beautiful Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance and of flow. She rides a lotus flower through the water, rising from the mud. Again, I love this mantra of no mud, no lotus. Just like Shakti Kundalini, she needs to cut through illusion and to clear the channel, to unblock this Shushumna Nadi, this central channel. If it's out of balance, out of alignment, it needs to be cleared. And so we need to go through this mud of um, of this world of Maya, of this embodiment, for us to reach these states of clarity. Lakshmi with the beautiful mudras of pouring blessings from her hand. See the abundance pouring from her right hand. And on the other hand, this mudra of saying, all is well, all is well, always. Holding 2 lotuses, blessing under it with her fragrance and her essence, adorned with so many jewels. Next to her, Kali, Jai Mata Kali. Loving mother as well. She doesn't seem maybe as loving or perhaps lovable even, but it's very important to embrace the archetype of Kali within us. Um, Mother of all creation again, Kali comes and you see her big scythe in her hand. She cuts through illusion and she is not afraid to destroy anything that needs to be destroyed in order for us to be in closer alignment to our divine essence, to this remembrance of our divinity. She is also a tool with an instrument playing her divine sounds that might be um, crystal clear, like glass cutting, glass breaking, like cutting through illusion, like nothing else. And you can see what she just cut through in another one of her hand, holding her beloved's head that she just cut. And so this embodiment of Kali also rises from the mud on a lotus. Her tongue is out, and she has bloody hands. She is also adorned in so many jewels, carrying the light of the sun. Jai Mata Kali. This is an archetype that is very often in our society repressed or suppressed. So, we're taught to be a good girl and we're taught to be good, to be likable, lovable. But this is when, that will work for some time until it won't. And when that moment comes, if we're not familiar or loving already towards this Kali archetype that lives within us, that is untamable and that is unrepressible as well. Like we can act as a good girl as long as we want. But one day or another, there will be something that will come and need you to embody this furious, raging energy. And so to meditate and to visualize Kali in our lives helps us have more compassion towards this side of us and less judgment because sometimes, we can repent towards this rage or we can feel ashamed of this rage that lives within us. But there's nothing to be afraid of first with Kali because we must trust in her discernment and in her power and knowing that she stands for truth. Just like Kundalini and Shakti she is truth. She will not rage for anything anchored outside of love, She will only fight to protect her own children, She will stand for truth and she will cut through all delusion and all illusion for to clear the path for us to rise into a greater embodiment of this divine energy that will not bow to anything untrue, and very often, we get confronted to these misaligned places and people, and this is when we have to lovingly, kindly embody the clearness of Kali before she starts raging so that we can simply cut through kindly, beautifully. No, thank you. This is Kali. And on their side comes Durga. Jagadambe. She rides a lion, sometimes a tiger. She is also ferocious. You can see her trident. She is very powerful, also adorned in beautiful jewelry. She holds a conch and a spade, a blade, many instruments of creation and destruction, and of beautiful sounds. Then again, Durga is the archetype of this kind of like the lion that she rides, she is unlike Kali. Kali is just full on raging, full on furious, full on destroyer. She comes when it's been too long that we've been a good girl and we need to clear cut everything, clear cutter is Kali. Durga is a little bit more of this embodiment of, a lion spends 80% of their time sleeping. And when it's time to hunt, they're not gonna be the marathon runner, they're the sprint runner. Straight to their point, to their prey, getting the maximum out of their strength, cultivating their strength through rest, through calm, through the embodiment of power, yet this poised power, sitting in your power, remembering your strength without needing to express it into this raging force all the time, just this calm yet extremely powerful mother. It's inviting you to take a look at each of them and remembering that each of them lives inside of us at all times and that they simply manifest in different moments. And whenever they want to express themselves, to welcome them as what we resist shall persist. And so, as long as we clear the path and let them express themselves through us, we can only trust that they are working for our own light and for the benefit of all beings. Any questions upon these three deities? We're good? Here on the left, we have Saraswati, the essence of water. Sara means essence, and Swa is water, and Ti is you. And so the essence of water in you, this essence of flow, this beauty of the art. Saraswati, she rides the swan. The image is a little bit cut here on the PowerPoint. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm not. I haven't made PowerPoint since I was in high school, so I'm sorry. But Saraswati is the essence of flow. She is the one that dances, that sings, that plays beautiful instruments, divine musics, divine sounds to enchant everyone. She is a beautiful energy to commune with and to meditate upon and to call upon. In our meditations, it's really good to call upon these deities that live within us at different moments of our lives, as every energy is needed in different times. So call upon them. They're your friends, they're your allies, they're your protectors. They're here for you. They're here at the service of Shakti. So anything, any of their power that you need, call upon them. And so if you are in a place now in your life where you need flow, you need ease, you need art, you need fun, you need playfulness, call upon Saraswati, the beautiful essence of water through us, which is pictured here on the left, riding her swan through the air, again with the blessing of all is well. And at the center here, we find another ferocious mother. So funny how many ferocious mothers live inside of us, isn't it? I wonder why. This one is Chinnamasta. And so you can see Shushumna Nadi flowing out of Chinnamasta in the form of her own blood, as she has just cut her own head out of devotion for her children. Her children came to her saying, Mom, we're hungry. And she didn't have anything but herself. And she sacrificed, did the service of self sacrifice to feed her own children. Stepping onto, look at what she's writing. She's writing a couple. She's writing the beloveds in divine union. She is this clear cutting energy of sacrifice and of pure devotion, pure trust, the greatest sacrifice, the sacrifice of self through death, to push everything until this point of take my own body, you can never touch my soul. It's this essence of no fear, she knows she lives through her own children. And so to really, this is the embodiment of giving everything you've got, not keeping anything back. So no holding back with Chinnamasta. When Chinnamasta comes for you, you better be ready. So yeah, this is a powerful embodiment of the mother that lives within us. Not the least scary one. She can be quite terrifying indeed. Yet we should always know that Shakti is pure love. And so remembering this fearlessness, essence of all in, full power. And on the right, our final yogic deity. Here is the Mother Tara, the green Tara, which is the essence of compassion and of peace and of forgiveness, calm. And so sometimes, we've been through many cycles of perhaps we can be very familiar with the deities that we've already listed, that we've already seen so far. And what we need to call upon at this time is the energies of peace and compassion and forgiveness and calm. And so this green Tara, this green essence, the color of the heart, she is pure peace. So when we meditate and call upon Mother Tara, we invite this healing peace to bask upon us and to hold us and embrace us, perhaps in moments of deep grief or in deep hurt and pain where we need to be deeply, gently held. Tara is a wonderful energy to call upon. So looking in her eyes and her beautiful flowers that she's offering, her breast open to us, life-giving, loving force of the heart, her raw breast open for us to lean upon, and her white lotus. Thank you, Tara. So I invite you to seal your moment with these deities. Say sayonara, see you later. You are welcome to call upon them or find your own, if you have an altar at home, to have an image of the deity that you like to be working with. Shakti um, is embodied through these deities and is will be manifested very powerfully in your life when you start calling upon them. So happy to share the images with you if you want. And our last lineage that we will be witnessing today, on the left we have Yansa. Yansa Shaigo, mother of movement, mother of renovation, we like to call her. She likes to renovate your life when she comes in. So anything that was out of place, not so feng shui in your life, you can call upon Yansa. With her beautiful butterflies, lightning bolts, she is a force of the realms of South America, of this natural world, this essence of the wind and of the storms, kind of this hurricane force, this, comment est-ce qu'on dit tornade? This tornado, coming through, clearing everything. At the center, we also have Iyemanja, my personal, most intimate Orisha. I love her, the spirit of the ocean, cleansing everything. She used to have this story. She used to have no salt in her, and so she was given this pure water. Although when she started cleansing everything, because people would come to her shores to ask for cleaning, and as she was cleansing everything and everyone, she started to get dirty herself. And she's like, "Oh no, Divine Father, what do I do?" And so he gifted her the gift of salt, and this salt is keeping her clear, and it's allowing this electricity, this life to flow through her and to constantly rejuvenate herself and cleanse herself through the power of salt, of this mineral, of this grounding, electrifying force. Yemanja, Mother of the Ocean, Spirit of the Ocean. When you go to the shores of the ocean and you hear her song, it's her speaking to you, through you. She is the ever-loving, ever-giving mother that holds us all and holds all of creation, the biggest entity on earth, Yemanja. And to her right, there is Mama Oshun, the waterfall, the gentle stream constantly in movement, where lotus flowers bloom. This is where we go for rejuvenation, for gentle healing when we need comfort. This is where we go to Oshun, into the Umbanda lineage. And so again, just different different schools, same concepts. This is kind of what this is pointing to. The force of Shakti lives throughout the world. In any school, any lineage that you will choose to study, she will be here in a different form, which lives in you. So any school that you choose to take, she will be there waiting for you, loving you. Shakti. Any questions for the deities? For the visualizations? Any comments? Let's go. Shakti. The ultimate goal of Shakti is to balance and harmonize and equalize these forces of action and reception within us, Shiva and Shakti. Again, as Jasmine was explaining, this force, this consciousness, this astral tapestry holding everything together in spaciousness. Even in matter, everything is very spacious. Matter is very little, yet is everything, that we can see and perceive and feel and touch and live and eat and breathe and move. And so it's to balance everything, to not stay stuck into this heaviness of matter, yet to be guided by it and to be supported by it and to let this matter propel us into our mission, into the astral. Um, and so with Kundalini, we can work to clear our central channel of any blockages or deviations. As the Sushumna is the central channel, we have also Ida and Pingala, the active and the passive, the solar and the lunar, the masculine and the feminine. And if any center is too active, then it's going to be deviated. Sushumna is going to be um, a little bit too much to the right. And then if something is not active enough, too passive, it's going to be a little bit more to the left. And so with Kundalini, by cultivating this life force pumping through our central channel, we are bringing all of this back to balance with these kriyas, with these cleansing, with this healing that we receive when we work with Shakti Kundalini. And so after so much talking and after so much just visualizations and mental food, let's all connect back to our body. So let's find a comfortable seat. Let's stack our head above our heart and our hips. And take a deep exhale. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Finding your center. Connecting to that central channel within you from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head, as if somebody was lifting you towards the sky with a string attached to the crown of your head. Connecting, cultivating this connection from the earth to the sky and breathing through this central channel, going up through the back of our spine. On the inhale and on the exhale, returning to the base of the spine through the front side body. Witnessing any movement that Shakti is creating within us as we breathe, inviting her to move through us. We'll all take a deep inhale all together. Holding at the top, taking even an extra little sip of air to regulate the vagus nerve. And we'll exhale with the sound of ha, the sound of the heart, HA, 2 more times. Inhaling fully. Feeling the sound, the vibration of your breath, of your own heart through your body. One last time. Inhale. With the next one, you can lick and bite your lips a little bit. As you inhale again to your fullest capacity, to the full capacity of your lungs. Or the horse lips this time. And you feel the vibration of your lips reverberating throughout your face 2 more times. I love to open my eyes during this one to watch my friend. So nice. And one last time, inhale. Again, keeping this connection through the central channel, inhaling through the back of the spine. And this time we'll use the pressure cooker breathing, exhaling through the teeth in the central stream. Visualize the pressure coming out of you as you exhale through the central channel, returning through the front side body to the root center. Inhale through the back body. Can you hear the snake? One last time. Inhale. Gently witnessing, returning to a normal breath. And if there's any movement that wants to move through you, you can gently swirl the spine. Anything that intuitively calls to you. Let her move you. Connecting to the spine, the fluidity of the spine. For just one more breath. As we return to our center and connect this feminine verticality, keep on cultivating this central channel from the root to the crown and beyond. Visualizing the rising of the coiled serpent from the bottom of the spine, from the root. And as we are in this space, let me ask you, what archetypes are most alive in me in this moment? And as the deities come to you, these embodiments reveal themselves to you. Witness, is it one of them or is it many? One more than the other, some more in the background. And perhaps as these archetypes come up, you can look at them and go back in time and see what experiences brought them forth within you. What made these archetypes become alive in you? And as you go down memory lane, witness, stay present. If perhaps more warrior archetypes are present in you, I invite you to let them drop their weapons, to invite archetypes of loving awareness like Lakshmi, Isis, Yemanja. Sending love to the wounds that these warriors are protecting. And to let these archetypes of Shakti flow more freely within us, let me ask you this question. What do I love to do that makes me feel free? What do I love to do that makes me feel fluid? What do I love to do that makes me feel radiant? And lastly, and this one I would love for you to share in the chat. What do I adore about myself? If you don't feel called to share in the chat, that's okay. Oh no. As we mentioned earlier, the polarities of femininity, we give life through our heart, through our breast. And so Shakti speaks a lot in the heart space. And this is why a lot of Kundalini practices will open up the heart and bring the heart forward, crack the heart open. And so this posture of this open heart, of this brave heart, of this radiant heart is very important. And so to connect to the power of the heart and let your heart shine. And so let us know now if you are ready to emerge from your meditation. I invite you to connect to this part of yourself that you adore and you can share it. It can be your heart, it can be your joy, it can be something physical, it can be anything. Yet, where's the chat? I can't find it.
Mm. Stephanie shares. You see it?
I got it. I adore how devoted I am to Shakti. Yes. Yes. I adore my silly playfulness, married with my capacity to nurture and hold. Wow, Stephanie. My God, amazing. J'adore mon rire, ma folie. Yes. My laughter, my craziness. On adore absolument. Yes. Je vais acheter. J'adore mon cœur. Voilà. Mm. Merci. Thank you to those who shared and for those who chose not to share. I hope that you are simply sitting with all and you're just overflowed with too many things that you adore about yourself to share. J'aime ma créativité et l'unicité, la compassion qui m'habite. Wow. I love my creativity and the unicity and the compassion that lives within me. Divine. Thank you. Mm. If anything came up for you during the meditation or during the visualization that you failed to share, please share in the chat and we can come back onto it. Meanwhile, I don't want to take up too much time. I know it's already uh, 9:11. So I would just share, because Jasmine asked me to share about the case spot that we mentioned earlier, the mystery case spot. And she also asked me to share a little bit about my story of initiations as a Daikini in Mexico. Um, my first meeting with Kundalini Shakti was through a workshop working on femininity and on unlocking our femininity and really connecting to the insides of our womb and this portal of awakening that we hold as women. Um, and through this workshop, I got to connect with one of the 8 points in a woman's womb that allows us to reach orgasmic bliss. And one of them is the K spot, which is the Kundalini spot, and which is right in between, located right in between the perineum and the sexual organs. And it's this very small place in everybody, in women and in men, actually, both men and women hold this one. And it is where the Kundalini sits at the base of the spine. And when this is stimulated, whether it be through Kundalini yoga, whether it be through yoni massage, whether it be through even a horseback riding or gymnastics, can cause Kundalini awakenings. This is the spot, this is the place that um, when the body and the consciousness is not ready to hold this amount of energy blasting, it can create the chaos momentarily in life. And this is why we are working with Kundalini Shakti to learn to channel her in a concise way for us to be able to hold it and for her to not just take over and kind of leak, and rather to ascend through the central channel and to eventually reach the spine to reach these perpetual states of clarity that Jasmine was mentioning earlier. And so, yes, this workshop allowed me to connect with this with these states for the first time for me and to connect with Kundalini Shakti. And since then, I've never been the same. My posture, I think, was truly the one most affected. I used to be a lot tougher in my posture, and I feel like since that point, just my heart has just softened so much, and my posture, my spine just feels so much more alive, more vibrant, more fluid, and more like as my guide, how to say, there's more consciousness in my spine, I think, since this was awakened in me. And so this is why I am choosing to work with Jasmine and that we will be working together very soon, actually. Next Friday, we start the next Kundalini energy activation training here in Quebec. So I don't know if anybody is around and would like to join us. I believe there's still one or two spots open. Jasmine, am I correct? One. So if there's one lucky person that wishes to deepen their studies, and for having taken Jasmine's training many times and to now get the blessing to work with her, what I really value in these trainings is there's very few places that invite us to remember these codes and these teachings and to really learn about
Did everybody lose Chloe? I saw her. Oh, yeah, I saw her battery was getting so low, and I think that's probably what happened. And in divine timing, Chloe was sharing her experience through the trainings. And Stephanie will be joining us, who's here in the room. Emily's on the fence and really attracted to learn more about this energy. Martin here got to experience an activation yesterday, and that's why he was in this room. And so, oh, Chloe is coming back. Pascal maybe is familiar with this energy already. So yeah, if you feel like that's you, you will know it in your soul, and you can message us. The doors are actually closing tomorrow of this portal, and so please message us if you feel that Shakti rising in you and this desire to go deeper with her. Thank you so much, Chloe, for this beautiful class.
Thank you so much. Anybody that has any questions or wish to deepen their work, well, yes, please join us next week in person. Otherwise, connect with Jasmine or I, and it will be our joy to keep walking the Shakti way, the beauty way
Mm.
together. Thank you so much for having me, Jasmine. What an honor and a joy to work with you and to deepen this Shakti awakening path.
Likewise, Chloe, thank you so much for this beautiful transmission. Thank you, everyone, for your presence and your heart in the room. Your presence is so valued here. Thank you for trusting us to share our experience with Shakti. All praises to the Most High. Good night, everybody. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We love you. We love you. We love you.
Merci, Pascal. Merci, Martin. Blessings, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
Namaste.